High atop the windswept cliffs overlooking the desolate town of Crestfall stood a dilapidated Victorian mansion. Its silhouette, stark against the stormy grey sky, was a constant reminder of the elderly widow who resided within. Her name, whispered in hushed tones, was Agnes Blackwood. Few dared to speak it aloud, for her past was shrouded in a darkness as impenetrable as the fog that perpetually clung to the hill. Agnes Blackwood was a recluse. Her face, a canvas of wrinkles etched by time and sorrow, rarely seen in town. The townsfolk, their minds teeming with superstition and fueled by generations of whispered tales, gave her a wide berth. They spoke of her arrival years ago, a solitary figure draped in mourning black, her eyes reflecting an immeasurable depth of sorrow and something else. The history of Blackwood Manor was steeped in tragedy and misfortune, whispers of unspeakable horrors echoing through its empty halls. The stories about Agnes Blackwood and her haunted abode were as numerous as the crows that circled the hill, their caws like mocking laughter carried on the wind. Each tale, embellished with each retelling, painted a picture of a woman not of this world. Some whispered of an ancient evil that clung to her, a darkness she had brought with her to Crestfall. The most common rumor involved the disappearance of her husband, a wealthy businessman who had vanished without a trace shortly after their arrival. The townsfolk, ever suspicious, pointed fingers at the widow, claiming she had a hand in his disappearance. Children, their imaginations running wild, spoke of ghostly apparitions peering from the mansion's shattered windows, their eyes glowing an eerie green in the fading light. The fear that clung to that hill was as palpable as the cold, damp air that rolled down its slopes each night. As the years passed, the stories of Blackwood Manor grew more outlandish, blurring the lines between reality and folklore. The mansion, with its peeling paint and boarded-up windows, became a breeding ground for fear. The townsfolk reported seeing flickering lights within the darkened house at night, like ghostly candles dancing in the wind. One particularly chilling tale involved a group of teenagers who, emboldened by youthful bravado and a few too many drinks, decided to explore the abandoned property. They snuck onto the grounds, their laughter echoing in the stillness, until a cold wind swept through the trees, silencing their mirth. The air grew heavy, charged with an unseen energy, and the teenagers felt a prickling sensation on their skin, as if they were being watched. They turned to leave, their bravado forgotten, but as they did, they saw her, the elderly widow, Agnes Blackwood, standing at the edge of the trees. The teenagers fled, their screams lost on the wind, and vowed never to return to the hill. The tales of Blackwood Manor served as cautionary warnings passed down through generations, a reminder to respect the unknown and to avoid prying into matters best left undisturbed. Yet there were always those who scoffed at the stories, dismissing them as mere superstition and folklore. One such soul was a young journalist, eager to make a name for himself, who arrived in Crestfall with the intention of uncovering the truth behind the legend of Agnes Blackwood. He spent weeks researching the town's history, interviewing its inhabitants and piecing together the fragments of the widow's past. The journalist, convinced that there was more to the story than mere ghost stories, decided to seek out Agnes Blackwood himself. He ventured up the hill towards the mansion, ignoring the warnings of the townsfolk and the unsettling feeling of dread that settled over him with each step. He was never seen again. The authorities searched for him, but no trace of the journalist or his belongings was ever found. As the years crawled by, the legend of Agnes Blackwood and her haunted mansion continued to grow, casting a long shadow over the town of Crestfall. The fear that permeated the hills seemed to seep into the very fabric of the community, shaping the lives of its inhabitants. One particularly eerie phenomenon that fueled the town's fear was the haunting melody that drifted from the mansion on certain nights. It was a mournful tune played on a piano, the notes echoing through the stillness, each one seeming to carry the weight of 1,000 sorrows. Some whispered that it was Agnes Blackwood herself, playing her laments to the night, her music a reflection of the darkness that consumed her. Whatever its source, the haunting melody sent shivers down the spines of those who heard it. The most disturbing chapter in the legend of Blackwood Manor involved the disappearance of several children from Crestfall over the years. Each disappearance followed a similar pattern. A child would wander off, drawn to the hill by some unseen force, never to be seen again. The townsfolk, their hearts heavy with fear and suspicion, whispered that Agnes Blackwood was responsible, that she had lured the children to their doom. There was never any evidence to support these claims, no proof that the widow had ever harmed a soul. Yet the rumors persisted, fueled by the palpable aura of evil that clung to the hill and the chilling gaze of Agnes Blackwood, which seemed to follow them wherever they went. The disappearances remained a mystery, a wound on the soul of Crestfall that refused to heal. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the legend of Agnes Blackwood and her haunted mansion continued to cast a long shadow over Crestfall. The fear that she instilled was not based on physical harm, but on something far more insidious. The fear of the unknown, the fear of the darkness that resided within the human heart. Agnes Blackwood, whether she intended to or not, had become a symbol of that fear, an embodiment of the horrors that lurk just beyond the veil of perception. The townsfolk of Crestfall, forever marked by the events that had transpired on that hill, lived their lives in the shadow of Blackwood Manor. They avoided the area whenever possible, and when they did venture near the hill, they did so with a sense of trepidation, their eyes darting nervously towards the mansion. The legend of the elderly widow on the hill had become a self-fulfilling prophecy, shaping the beliefs and behaviors of those who lived in its shadow. Years turned into decades, and Agnes Blackwood, her skin now paper-thin and her hair as white as snow, remained a recluse in her crumbling mansion. The townsfolk, their numbers dwindling as younger generations sought refuge from the town's dark legacy, still spoke of her in hushed tones, their voices laced with a mixture of fear and morbid fascination. Her infrequent trips into town were met with a mixture of dread and morbid curiosity. She would move slowly, her back bent with age, her eyes, which seemed to hold a lifetime of sorrow and something more unsettling, scanning the faces of those she passed. It was said that her gaze could pierce the soul, revealing one's deepest fears and darkest secrets. Even in her twilight years, Agnes Blackwood remained an enigma, a figure shrouded in mystery and whispered rumors. One cold winter morning, the news spread through Crestfall like wildfire. Agnes Blackwood was dead. Her housekeeper, the only soul brave enough to venture into Blackwood Manor, had found her lifeless body in her bed, her features serene, as if she had simply drifted off to sleep and never woken up. With her passing, a strange silence fell over Crestfall. The fear that had gripped the town for so long seemed to dissipate, replaced by an uneasy calm. The mansion, now truly abandoned, stood on the hill like a tombstone, a monument to the secrets it held and the lives that had been forever changed by its presence. The townsfolk, their curiosity outweighing their fear, cautiously approached the property, peering through the overgrown hedges, trying to catch a glimpse of what lay beyond. But the mansion remained tight-lipped, its secrets buried within its crumbling walls. The legend had taken on a life of its own, evolving into a cautionary tale about the power of fear and the dangers of delving into matters best left undisturbed. Why are there not more people talking about our channel? Because they're too busy having fun. Welcome to your new favorite entertainment channel. We've got true-to-life documentaries that will inspire you, children's music and stories that will delight the little ones, exciting dramas that will keep you on the edge of your seat, and hilarious, funny stories that will make you laugh out loud. And don't forget our Fright Night and scary stories. They'll give you goosebumps and have you hiding under the covers. So sit back, relax, and leave the entertainment to us. We've got a little bit of everything, and it's all right here on our channel. You'll be amazed at how much fun we pack into every video. Don't miss out. Subscribe now, like, comment, and share this video with everyone you know. And hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment of the fun and thrills. Stay with us today and come back for more anytime. See you soon.